Q&UPDATEZ. Welcome to Q&UPDATEZ. Hosted by New Lewi. Let's go!
Welcome back to Q&UPDATEZ. I'm your host, New Lewi. Q&UPDATEZ. We are here to connect with artists, entrepreneurs, creatives, rising voices in our community. And tonight we have a returning guest after 2 years. 2 years, people. 2 years. So Veve C is back with us tonight. We're going to talk music, visuals, growth, performance. Everything she's been building up, everything she's been doing the last 2 years. So everybody tap in, share the live, share the love, share the live, share the love. There we go. So just to get started off, for people just getting to know who you are, who is Veve C?
That's me.
What you about?
Okay, I'm gonna stop. Hey guys, so for those that don't know me, so my name is Vanessa. I go by Veve C. I wear many hats, but right now I am focused on my music endeavors. I have a team of people. Shout out to Home Cave Records. Shout out. Well, no, Louie. Welcome to the team. Welcome to the team.
Yeah. That's news within itself.
Yes. But yeah, so I've been kind of reflecting on everything I've done up until this point. It's kind of, I don't want to say weird, but it's like when you think about, when you say who's Veve C, I mean, in essence, obviously that's my brand. That's who I am.
Right.
As the artist and as the talent. But what I also think of Veve C is also the person that's grown in that name, Vanessa, who started off as a theater kid, someone who was big on fashion, someone who was really big on speaking up, public speaking, and just really wanted to try things that was in the creative aspect of things. And
right.
And obviously we're gonna get into how I got into the music, I'm presumed, but I'm very thankful, very grateful. Thank you for having me on your platform. Shout out to Urban Updates. Make sure you guys follow, hit like, subscribe. Don't be afraid to comment. But yeah, we here.
That's what's up. So of course we mentioned it's been 2 years since your last appearance to Urban Updates. So a lot can happen in 2 years. So can you give us a little sample of what's been happening with Veve C for the last 2 years?
Well, I feel like the last time that I was interviewed, we were at a spot with I remember the pool table vividly, and I have dropped a lot of single hits since the last time I've interviewed with you guys, and I can't believe it was 2 years ago. It felt like it was longer than 2 years, but at the same time, I felt like 2 years kind of went quick. So I'm kind of losing time and all of that.
Mm-hmm.
But well, a few things I can mention. I know at the time I was with you guys last time, I had my first album out called Veveology that introduced hits such as Breeze, Bass, Don't Want to Go Back, and a few other songs on there that has catapulted my start in the music of things, or at least recording wise.
Right.
And thanks to my team, but really specifically my brother, who went by STC Productions when I first had my first album out released. And since then, it's now Sean Navi.
Navi!
That dude's the go. Y'all need to check his page. I mean, his page is still developing, but you need to like tap in with him, because that dude, he does everything. Like, you really got to see him in work.
Right.
but yeah, there's been a lot of projects that we've been working on. Obviously, the most recent project that we will be dropping this summer has you in it, called Low. And I know in the past I did mention that there are a couple upcoming albums that we're working on for Reflection Part 1 and Part 2.
Hmm.
But we've had so many hits get developed in between that we kind of decided to focus on those singles first before introducing those singles to the albums, and kind of just seeing where things go and what fits and what doesn't fit, or what makes sense to put on the album.
Right.
And I kind of took self notes, also taking advice from other celebrities that have catapulted their albums recently, and just really just taking my time with what I have, and
Right.
just making sure those singles get precise before putting it out on an album, and hopefully eventually hit those platinums and all that good stuff. So there's a lot of projects, a lot of things in store.
Okay.
Again, we be posting, so yeah, we got a lot.
Right, right. Of course, of course. So everything that I've heard so far, I mean, I've heard a blend of hip hop, heard some pop, some R&B, sometimes some little rock influence. So you got a lot going on. So how would you describe your sound today and all the experience you've had thus far?
I say well, when I first thought about how the sound was, I'm kind of comparing to the Viviology album, and I guess my single hits that I have out currently. I say my sound, I've always been like a Aaliyah, Missy Elliott, Left Eye type of fan.
Mm,
So I've always wanted to have some form of whimsical, futuristic aspect. So
okay.
if I were to say my sound would be as close to like a Left Eye mixed with Aaliyah, and somewhere in between with other elements of kind of what I want to do. Um, I'm not a person to put myself in a box,
Right,
but I love hip hop. I love any elements of like hip hop with some like different trance sounds. Jersey. I'm from Jersey, so I have to have some form of Jersey sound to it.
right.
I don't know. I say I'm a versatile sound, but I think I find myself more on like a whimsical, futuristic aspect with my voice. I found myself to do.
Right, right. I mean, you mentioned Missy Elliott, and that certainly comes to mind because I know when she came through on the scene, it certainly was very different. It wasn't just, oh, that's hip hop. It's definitely
She catapulted
futuristic.
the game and the way that we
Yeah.
see things now. Like Missy she a goat. Shout out to Missy. Hi Missy.
Yes, yes, to the Elliott.
Love Missy.
So with your background and being surrounded with music, just how much has your family, would you say, influenced your creativity?
All of it. I mean, honestly, without my I mean, going back to kind of how we started our record label for Home Cave Records. It all started with just sitting downstairs in our downstairs basement, and just kind of just taking in how we created the music to begin with, and it kind of just felt like we were in a home cave, which was my
Mm.
dad's idea. Shout out to him, legendary DJ Sean.
Woo.
And and since then, I think that was back in 2019, right before we released the Viviology album, that we kind of just decided that yeah, this is a fitting name. And my family is everything. Like literally, outside of my brother producing my sounds and creating
Hmm.
visuals that he has, my family is literally my backbone, and they have been major support for me. So I'm just grateful that I have that support, and that I have an amazing brother, amazing dad, an amazing family that
Hmm.
actually cares about what I have going on. And of course, it's not perfect. I mean, of course, you have your hiccups every now and then. You know, we all have our strong opinions, outside family that may or may not want to, you may not understand what's going on, or may not really fully grasp what we got going on. But
Right.
I'm a visionary, and I can foresee even now, but in a couple of years of time, that Home Cave Records will blow up as big as your titles and things like that. Not title, but your Rock Nations and things like that. So
Okay.
we're just grinding. Like me and my family, we family's family. We
Right.
got each other's back, and that's kind of how we really been moving.
Well, you seem like you kind of had for the little time I was able to meet with you guys, you kind of had a little holy trinity going on there.
Something like that, yeah. Yeah,
That's
that's
what's
a good way
up.
to put it.
So, like, as far as your visual, it seems like things I've seen, there's just visual, cinematic effects from stuff I've seen, storytelling effects. How important is that to the brand?
So I found myself ever since I was a little girl, I always found myself to kind of be my own storyteller.
Hmm.
Just be like with how I always express myself, I always found myself to just I wouldn't say talkative, but I always found myself to kind of just be in my own world, in my own daydream world. And I just pretty much put that into my music. But funny enough, even when I went, because I've written music since I was 5. Like I literally have a whole binder of songs I've written since I was 5, and I'm
Wow.
looking back and I'm like, I like what do I know about love and feelings at 5 years old? I'm looking at it, like I literally have my like I can literally pull up my pink binder right now and you will see like a whole library of like line paper, and I was like,
Oh, really?
yeah, and literally
You
all the
broke my
songs,
heart.
it's crazy. Like I
Yeah.
literally I can show you, it's crazy. But yeah, all the
Okay.
songs I've written, I've noticed as I'm reflecting back, I'm over here like all my songs have some form of story to it. And it's weird how it all came back, because now reflecting back, I'm like, I always felt like in my own world I was a storyteller, but I didn't realize it until I actually started looking back. And
Hmm.
when I realized it, which I would say right before Viviology, was when I wouldn't say I wasn't taking music seriously then, but I really
Hmm.
started to kind of research within myself what fits for me and what makes sense.
Right.
So with that being said, I started to incorporate storytelling within my Viviology and noticed that every song that I've written has some form of connection to another song. So like for example, I'll say, oh, okay, Breeze.
Hmm.
Breeze, I would talk about looking yourself in like the reflection in the mirror, and then
Hmm.
it just kind of catapulted into reflection. So it's kind of almost like one song is linked to another, and it kind of just all has its own connection. And honestly,
Right.
the way it was planned, it wasn't planned, but it was planned. And I kind of just spoke into it. So that kind of was how I was able to kind of story tell in that. But yeah,
Mm.
yeah, that's kind of what I do.
So, with the futuristic and artistic style, what really inspires that? Is that just something that's coming out of you and your upbringing, or there are other artists, or is there the collaboration of everything?
It's a mix, because sometimes I just be in the mood and I just be like, F it. I'm like, I'm feeling this way. I'm just going to write about it. And
Right.
other times it might, well, it's usually the collaboration part kind of was more newer when I did the singles. But yeah, I would say it's a mix, because it's a mix between my mood at the time. Sometimes it's random, especially if I'm doing like a song that's about partying and turn up. And other times I like to speak in third view perspective. Sometimes even, like everything I write has some form of truth to it, but
Hmm.
it's not always about me. So like even down to like go on, I can
Hmm.
relate myself in that situation, but I really wrote that in like third point of view. Or even drifting away. Drifting away, I definitely wrote that in third point of view. So it's kind of like one of the situations where I kind of utilize myself as a subject and then kind of also not, so I can kind of give that variety to what I write. So it's a mix. I say it's a mix.
Okay. So, speaking of your different singles, now your project Up From Here, just listening to it, it really talks about growth and elevation. So, just what was the mindset you were in when you were creating that project?
Um so I'm gonna start with Breeze, because Breeze was kind of the start to all the other songs I wrote, and Breeze was kind of reflecting back to, the different things that I've experienced in high school, pretty much like a lot of high schoolers, between betrayal, friendship breakups, internal battles. I was even undergoing a hair situation that people misconstrue with cancer, but I was pulling
Mm.
out my hair. Had to do some research with that, and I guess it's called trichotillomania. To those who go through that, you're not alone. You'll get through it. It's okay.
Mm.
Um, and I kind of just utilized those experiences into Breeze. But I'm gonna be honest with you. It wasn't until I discovered my brother making the beats, and when I first discovered it, he was in his room, and I kind of was like walking by, and I thought he was
You're
playing a
being nosy? No.
yeah, because he was playing a sound that sounded really really nice and like something I would be on, but it was like
Right.
it sounded like a YouTube, like it sounded so good. I thought he was on YouTube playing that, and I was
Oh.
like, Sean, what YouTube beat are you playing? He was like, I made this, and I said, yeah, that's Cap.
Mm.
But then, sorry, Sean, sorry. And then he showed me the stems, he showed me how he made it, and literally from that point on I kind of just started building what eventually became Breeze, and just started writing all my experiences that I kind of journaled, but I ended up making it to the song based off the aesthetic of the sound, the beat that my brother made. And then over time I'm gonna be honest with you, at that point it became a blur, because then we just started writing, creating, and then once you get in the zone you kind of just keep going that pattern. And
Right.
then when we just kind of put it out there, it started to make sense to us that it was something that was working for us. So
Mm.
yeah.
Well, I noticed you guys, you call each other twin. So what's the background with that? Just looking alike, or what's up with that?
I mean, it's left for interpretation. I mean, for those who don't know, me and my brother, we are 10 years apart. I am the older sister. I'll be 30 in literally, oh my gosh, it's what, May 27th. So in 2 months I'll be 30.
Wow.
But I mean, like, that's twin. Like that, like, I don't know. However, y'all use twin. We're twins because we look alike. We twins because we act alike. We're twins because we feed off each other. We twins because we brother and sister.
Right.
Twins. We locked in.
We
Shout out to
locked
my
in.
twins.
I like that part. You guys are locked in. I'm gonna
Yeah.
use it that way.
Yeah, I've been very blessed to have a brother that I have, because even outside of the music stuff, like I be hearing horror stories about people having siblings that they wish they never had, and I
Mm.
can't relate. I can't.
Right.
They definitely gave me a good one. I'll just tell you that much.
Right. Right. So I'm sure you guys have had some sibling rivalries or some arguments or something go on in the family.
Oh,
Not saying you got to get personal, but
yeah. I mean, no. I mean that if you're a family, I'm not saying this to be rude, but if you're a family that does not have any form of disagreements, then I'm scared of you.
right, right.
I don't know. I've never met a family that don't have problems, or at least some form of disagreements. In my family, we're very loud spoken, and we're communicative with each other. Is that a word?
Right.
Don't
Yes,
don't
yes, you
fry me if
got
that's
it.
not a word. I hope
It
so.
is. It is.
My words be misconstrued sometimes, and y'all be getting me. So I'm like, all right, whatever. But yeah, we like, when it comes to me and my family, at least on my dad's side of things, we locked in. So however we are with each other, we're very transparent and transparent. We're very transparent. Oh, hey Ruby, what's up? We're very transparent with each other, and we don't do like secretive type of stuff. So
Right.
with that being said, I mean, of course, me and my brother, we have I would say difference of opinion, because we
Okay.
don't really argue. It's kind of more like there's times that we may have a difference of opinion, or sometimes we might be passionate, and our
Right.
passion kind of just go together kind of thing, but in
Right.
different ways. So kind of, it's like a zigzag type of thing. But like, yeah,
Right. Right.
we tight. My dad too, even though, yeah, dad,
Yeah. Yeah. No, no, no. I like that answer, because if you be like, "Oh no, we never had disagreement," I'd be like, "VVC is lying."
Yeah, but no, that's cap. Like, I literally, like, if you say that, I'm gonna literally just end the live.
Right. So we talked before about Breeze. I mean, would you say when it comes to your releases, that's the most personal one, or you have others that you feel is a very personal song for you?
Oh, that's a good question. I feel like because Breeze was a strong start to kind of, so okay, I have an answer, and then I have an answer, and it's yes for now, based
Hmm.
on what's released. But
Right.
no with what's about to come out, because there's some songs that I have that's not released yet that actually goes a little bit deeper than Breeze, because Breeze is
Hmm.
on the surface with kind of just touching base of mental health, and really just saying like, I'm looking at myself in the mirror, these names, I'm ugly, this that, but that's not
Right.
who I am, kind of thing. Some of my other songs really goes deep within, like I talk about my mother, I talk about failed relationship, failed situationships,
Hmm.
kind of things that I might be even doing. I kind of low-key wrote a diss track. It's not out
Hmm.
yet, but when it's out, you'll know what I'm
It's
talking
coming,
about.
folks. It's coming.
That diss
Shots
track is
fired
gonna
at somebody.
yeah. I kind of got my feelings, and then, but it sounded so good with the beat, I kind of just had to keep it. But Breeze, the
Okay.
reason why Breeze is mentioned, besides the fact that it was my first recorded hit of things, is because Breeze really was when I was the most vulnerable in my writing. And it was
Hmm.
the first time I discovered myself and my vulnerability in the writing. And I kind of kept that formula for the songs that I was talking about my feelings, which kind of traces back to that.
Hmm.
But yeah, I'm gonna say for now, Breeze does give that feeling of emotion that a lot of my other songs don't go as deep in, but that's just speaking to the songs that's released. But you will see, if you guys stay tuned and follow, like,
Right.
subscribe, you will see what I'm talking about with the other songs. So yeah.
So as far as, because you've done a lot of songs, so is there a song lately that you feel is your favorite to perform right now?
There's a couple. So if I'm going based off what's released, I actually really like Taking Off, and
Mm.
that shares my label mate GM. Shout out to him. Um, I like taking. I don't know. Something about taking off. Just it's like a mood setter. I don't know. I just like turn up music, and I don't know. I'm like really Jersey girl kind of thing, and taking
Okay.
does it for me. There's a couple other songs. I still love Drifting Away. Actually, Drifting Away was my favorite song off the Viviology album.
Okay.
That I still consider my like top three, top four, which keeps changing because I keep making these new songs. Honestly, I mean, Low is not released, but if Low is released, honestly, that's like the song I play the most in my car. I think
Okay.
I songs actually. I don't even.
Okay.
I don't even know actually because I'm thinking about it. There's a few songs I feel like, yeah, I'm gonna just say for now, like Taking Off, Drifting Away,
Okay.
like are my top two that's released. But yeah, there's a lot.
Now, can you remember what your very first performance was as far as an artist?
Wow, that's a good question. Well, okay, so okay, because because the talent shows don't count because I was obviously before I became VVC. So if I were to say, oh wow, what was my? Oh my gosh, I've done so many performances I dead forgot.
Well, you could think about it for
I'm
a
trying
while.
to think. I'm gonna tell you this: the first, because this is not my first performance, but the first performance I've done that I realized I might have something was when I think it was one of DJ Drewski's event. Shout out to him in Brooklyn, and that had to been about 5 years, maybe 4 or 5 years ago. I have to kind of go back and look at my videos to see when it was.
Okay.
And when I went on that stage, and actually I have it on my IG thing, and I was like, everybody say "you're" on my phone, and I had everybody was like "you're." I don't know what it was about that just boosted my confidence, and that really
Oh,
like, yo, I think I could do this. And,
right.
and it really, it just, I don't know, something about, because you know, when you perform, first of all, New York, and I'm talking about the city, New York is tricky. It's like, it's either you get them or you don't, and it's like
Right.
you can't even follow trends anymore because you could follow a trend and then they get bored, or it's like if you they don't know you, or if you're not one of theirs, it's like, okay, who's this person? And if you don't catch their attention by like the first 5 seconds, is a wrap. So
Right.
like I will overthink how to even present my music because it's like my sound is not a typical sound, but it's enough where people can vibe to it, or at least kind of get the gist of a trend.
Hmm.
But because I'm not from this, I'm from Jersey, but I'm not from the city, so it's like I kind of have to low key work 10 times hard to get the respect without trying hard. And
Hmm.
so I just be myself. Like I'm a Jersey girl, 845, coming out from upstate, doing what I do, and if you don't like it, oh well, it is what it is. But
Right.
um, that particular performance stood out to me. I wish I remembered the exact event name it was. I think
It's
it
all right.
had Showcase Poppy as the promoter. It was a lot going on that night, but I know it was in Brooklyn, and I know it was a DJ Drewski event, and it was a lot of people there. And when I had the crowd moving, that stood out to me, and I felt like ever since then I've just been doing back to back to back to back performances. But I've definitely had performances before that, uh,
Right.
like especially like Salea's, like, shout out to Salea at her spot at the Party Palace. I felt like was when I kind of started off doing my performances as VVC with the music I have, and
Right. Right.
that gave me the leverage to then pursue later on within the city performances and that kind of thing. So I was outside. I'll tell you that much. I was outside.
Right, right. Now, the reason why I asked you that, because I know it's been a while since that moment. So, what does the evolution of VVC look like? If you think about when you first were performing, even before you were VVC, and think about how you perform now and your confidence now, is there a way you can describe that?
Well, I feel like now I because I while I understand my image and my branding, I always try to improve what would essentially become the full package of things. It's kind of tricky, especially in this game, and everything is so digital nowadays, where it's kind of tricky to fit in. I mean, it's
Hmm.
not tricky to fit in, but it is if you want to stand out without doing too much, kind of thing. And it's almost like the wrong things are going viral, and the right things that should be going viral doesn't stay viral for long, kind of thing.
Right.
I'm starting to learn the algorithm of social media and applying that to my performances now that I have not done before, or at least I
Okay.
haven't done when I started. I should say that much. Um, and also, I always again research it's always but like research within myself, kind of more like, hey Vanessa, I can improve this a little bit more, maybe do a different style, that kind of thing, or maybe not do so much pre-programming with the mix, but really engage more with the audience and just have fun. I mean, I do have fun, but there
Hmm.
are times I do overthink my set, because like I said, depending on where I'm performing, especially if I'm in the city, I'm overthinking, like, what if they don't like this song, what if this song is too slow, what if this song is just not their vibe. And honestly, I just do whatever I don't want to curse, but I should just do whatever I want, and
Right.
just do that. So now doing the performances, especially with the newer songs that I have released and eventually what I will have released, I think it's a lot easier to work with, just simply because the songs that we have now, it's more aesthetic to what I'm trying to grow in my image, and really just stylistically, you know, creating something that would naturally stand out without trying too hard. So there's something that I'm kind of putting into my current performances. But right now, I've been kind of more focused on content and
Uh-huh.
really just engaging. I think that's really what it is, because I feel like once that's nipped in the butt, then all the other stuff will come naturally. And I really just want my supporters, and even those that don't support me, I just want people to get to know me as who I am. This
Right.
is what it is. This is Home Cave Records, and you get a taste of my world, and we take it from there, and the ride starts. So yeah.
Yeah, and this goes in with when it comes to the music industry, and you've kind of touched on it a little bit, but just what is it and the way the music has changed, what do you feel is just very challenging for you or frustrating for you as an independent artist
Oh my,
going through this?
y'all don't understand. Like and I've been talking about this with my dad and my brother, and they understand what I'm saying. So just to give you guys a little bit of tea for those watching, you guys are getting the first exclusive, right? So Home Cave Records is an independent artist label, and that's kind of just how we start. That's what it is right now, because we're independent based.
Right.
We want to grow it big, but with little resources that we currently have, realistically, we're just not there yet, and we're currently kind of in research mode with hopefully getting to the point where we can kind of branch off in those topics of your high end of things. Um, yeah, the industry is well, I think every artist can agree, especially the independent artists, the indie artists, that it's very tricky to fit into the industry, because the industry is very social media based. I mean, everything is clickbait, click
Right.
click click bait. And I'm not gonna lie, I'm low-key guilty. I'm low-key guilty, because I low-key did that with I'm That. But what I'm
Mm.
telling you is, everybody is click 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 click, fast attention span, fast attention span. It's like 1 second you lose their attention, is a wrap. You can
Right.
have really the best, like the best catalog of music, and if you don't have 2 seconds of that person's attention to really engage with what you got going on, it's next, 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 real next, next.
Right.
And it's easier, obviously, to put out the music. You don't need the big, like back when because my dad could tell you this, because he was part of a group, Rockin' G and DJ Sean, back in the 1980s, when they were under Mercury Polygram Records. And those times, in the late 80s, 90s was a little bit different with how things are now when it comes to the distributions and, you know, the labels and quite frankly, honestly, music in general.
Right.
And they had to be recognized and be picked out by these labels to even have music out that will go into the global scale, so your MTVs and things like that.
Right.
I feel like now with that aspect, it's a lot easier because now you can distribute your own stuff. You don't need to have a label to recognize you. You just put yourself out there for the recognition to come really directly from the people, not even from the label, but the people that's watching your stuff. And if you have the right algorithm, and sometimes you have to, you know, if you're using IG or TikTok, they have certain ad promos and that kind of thing. If you use it right, don't put, and honestly, for those that do it, don't put all your money in one basket. You're wasting your money.
Right.
But it doesn't hurt to put a couple dollars here and there if you feel like you have something that people might gravitate towards. And also post on a weekday. Don't post on a Saturday, Sunday, or even a Friday. And just really play around with what content you have. Because honestly, consistency is key. You really got to put out content that you represent yourself well, but it's not so dreadful that, like, if you put it out there and people watch it for like 2 seconds and they get bored, they're gonna skip.
Right.
Those are certain things that, you know, people don't really think about until they think about it after the fact and reflect like, oh wow, so this being on social media is easy. Putting out music, honestly, now compared to back then, is easy. Being noticed in a way is kind of easy because you don't have to be outside like you had, like passing out CDs and things like that. You low-key could just sit in your room and just, I mean, if you want to go that route, you could go in your room and sell your streams that way, do your streamers and things like that. And it's not as tricky. But my thing is consistency and respect. I feel like it's a lot harder now because what we had, what back then, and I'm saying back then, I mean like the 2000s era before, they had uniqueness, they had originality, and they had substance that you just could not ignore. You had a whole caliber of different artists that were far different from each other, and they still till this day are relevant. You know, your Christina Aguilera's to your Whitney Houston's to your Mariah Carey's to, I mean, like the list goes on, like it literally goes on, to your Missy Elliott's, your Eves. All of them had such different elements, but they all are relevant today. You got artists coming out today that are forgotten months later. And it's not that they don't have talent. It's not that or they might not. I don't know. But it's not that they don't. It's just the algorithm nowadays is, I feel like the distractions is far worse now because there's a lot going on. And so I'm not blaming on social media, but social media kind of is the catapult to why there's a lot going on, because we have so many things we can do that people are just doing everything. And now everything is kind of...
Right. But that goes into when you mention Home Cave Records and that being a family-owned label, because I feel like you have something to fall back on. Because speaking of social media and people getting caught up in the likes and, oh, how many people like this, and people getting depressed. So it seems like with you and having your family to support you, even in the midst of all of this, how important is that for you?
Oh, it's very important. I mean, I always tell people this anyways, just like stay true to who you are. Don't compromise yourself for no one and nothing.
Right.
This game is not for everyone. And that's the thing. This is a business. People see the glitz and glamour, the glitz and glamour, the popularity, as you say, when you go up to these clubs. And you know, I be outside, but not in the way that I want to. It's just I be outside because I'm an engager. I network. I do those kind of things. And and shout out to Top Motion, by the way. Shout out to Top Motion. You already know what's up. Twin and Tammy. But yeah, what was I saying? Oh yeah. So when you see the glitz and glamour of things in person, it's like, I want that too.
Right.
You really learn the behind the scenes and how that algorithm of the music business is very tricky. And honestly, the main thing is really connections and also yourself as a brand, and not trying so hard to make your brand stand out. Is honestly, if it just doesn't naturally stand out, then you don't got it. Or you got to reinvent something with that, because this game is grimy. They know. I'm not saying you can't make friends, but the the industry is like, it's so big and it's so small at the same time. You see the same
Right.
people. I didn't realize I would see the same people with the performances I've done. I've seen the same people, even traveling out. I've seen the same people. So it's like, you really have to understand the level of, mental, like, you have to have a strong mental mindset getting into it. And you
Right.
have to understand, and not put so much high expectations on what you think it is versus what you're getting out of it. Because if you're taking the honest route, it's going to take far longer to get to that success than those that are kind of, doing the cheat code of things.
Right.
But if you stay true to who you are, you have a solid foundation. And me personally, I feel like a sound foundation is why I'm able to even do this stuff, because not
Right.
everyone
Right.
has that. But it doesn't mean you can't do that. But you have to just really know yourself, know your brand. Your brand is
Hmm.
you, and how you want to represent you is kind of really what does it. So
Well,
it's very important to me. It's kind of where we're at right now, and why, we see Home Cave Records being successful, because we don't just operate based off popularity and just try to put anybody on there just so that we can money grab. But really, we operate as a family, and
right.
we want to bring something that we don't usually see in the music game, but while understanding how the business is, also relating family to it, and just knowing that we got your back, period.
Right. Well, speaking of glitz and glamour,
Oh,
because I know you had a little modeling background. Tell
yeah.
tell us about that.
Oh man, the model days. I mean, honestly, the modeling is what led me to where I'm at anyways with the music. I I've modeled for so long. It feels like it's weird even talking about it now, because when you think about how long I've done fashion, and just being, and honestly, when you talk about the music industry, the fashion industry kind of has a similar formula as well.
True.
It's
True.
just a little bit more narrowed down to the algorithm of, fashion, like the runway. If you talk about the runway, the looks, the aesthetics, and the different things that happen behind the scenes with that. If you talk about catalog, commercial, things like that, get into all that, but it will take all day if I explain that. But yeah, from the start of, okay, so this I do remember. I will say the first time I modeled was when I did actually model was the Purple Butterfly fashion show. Shout out to Veronica that
Hmm.
did that back in, I would say, I want to say 2016. I could be wrong. It could be 2015, but I think it was 2016.
Close enough.
I did my very first fashion show that I walked for her show.
Okay.
And then after that show, I used that experience to then do Newburgh Illuminated, which I'm sure those from Newburgh remember Newburgh Illuminated before they shut that down. And I did that for 2018 and 2019 for the modeling, and then I started helping with the coordination of it behind the scenes before the shutdown.
Hmm.
And then from that point on, I mean, obviously there were some other shows in between that has came from Newburgh Illuminated, and my Newburgh family from that, before I graduated into your New York Fashion Week shows, when I was part of an agency that later became a scam, but it still led me
Uh-oh.
to connections that I have today. Yeah. Yeah. And but it led me to the connections I have today. Shout out to Andreen. And with being under her, it was, oh my goodness, it was an emotional ride leading up to where I am now.
Right.
And yeah, modeling has been part of my whole life. 5'8", I don't have the tall height that models are typically fit for.
Right.
um but I was able to catapult my personality that I feel has helped me get into the modeling that I was doing, and eventually was able to utilize those connections with the music that kind of coexist with each other. So I feel like my fashion world and my music world just kind of came together, and now I'm.
Right. Okay. Awesome. So now, as we're moving forward, looking into the future, I saw that we have this casting call, and we have a record amount of people who were
Yeah.
interested, and we have the music video that you're gonna be getting ready to do in Brooklyn. And of course, I had the honor and privilege of being a part of that.
Yeah.
So, what can the people expect as far as the visualization of the music video, especially with it being such an epic casting calls, and these are with dancers. So what is it that the people have to look forward to with what's coming?
Yeah, I'm glad you brought that up. Before I even get into that question, first of all, thank you to everyone who has submitted. I know I'm not making this up. Like, I literally could show you the emails, the DMs, the messages, whatever. I counted, at least the day I announced the shutdown, 172, but then I've received more since then. So I would
Wow.
say on estimation about 200 submissions from all over walks of life. And
Wow.
I couldn't be more thankful with the turnout. Me and my team, we worked so hard to even start the Low project. And this is a more recent project, but we've been talking about it for months and months and months, but we didn't really actually ground the project till, like, I would say a couple to few weeks ago. And so now getting to the question, because I don't want to forget that. Low is going to bring back, and I feel, I'm gonna say this right now, and I'm saying this because I just have a feeling. Low is gonna bring back the millennial era that we are missing today. Now, I know there's some artists out there that got songs that give you that vibe, but I'm telling you, I could visualize Low being like your Missy Elliott, Aaliyah, and Left Eye. So I want to kind of bring that vibe back, and not just because, I mean, obviously I was a huge fan of all of them, but that's kind of, for me, my main aesthetic. Again, I'm everything between holographic, silver. I literally like the visual of Future, and I just find my sound to kind of fit aesthetically with that, even though I do, I do have versatility in my music.
Right.
I felt like Low was perfect. And also, just to be clear, I do write all my music, but Low is actually one of the exceptions. I did not write. My brother, Sean, he wrote the song, he wrote the demo, and he made the beat, obviously. And he showed me the demo before I recorded my parts to the song that eventually became what it was, before, obviously, you got on it. And you could tell them, Low is a vibe. Low is a good time. Low is gonna step up. I want a new Step Up movie. I see everybody outside in the rain dancing. I don't want to be seeing no baddie fighting. I don't want to be seeing no TikTok. I want to see people dancing on the ground like we was in a Step Up movie. I want Low to bring that energy back. And if we're gonna make something a trend, I want to see that trend. I want to see that happen. I want to see where my dancers at, where my break dancers, where's my dancers at?
Right.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Exactly. So thank you, Ralph. That's what I'm saying. So in that sense, Low is going to be, if my vision comes true, is going to bring back the millennial era that we are missing today, and hopefully catapults Home Cave Records. And so visually speaking, I don't want to speak too much because I feel like I kind of just want to surprise y'all.
You want to give it away?
I'll give you a little, for those watching, I'll just give you guys a little snippet. So Low, if you guys watch TLC, okay, so y'all know Step Up, y'all know the vibes that Aaliyah, Missy Elliott, and TLC kind of gave in their music video. Promiscuous by Nelly Furtado featuring Timbaland. If you put all of that together, that's Low. So however you take that, and we're gonna be kind of teasing with different teasers, and maybe even a trailer right before the release. We are aiming to release it. I don't have a specific day, but we are aiming it for the summer. So most likely it's gonna be in middle of July. So you will be seeing those visuals very soon, actually, because we're already about to be in the month of June. And July is right around the corner. So, yeah, you guys are going to be in for a treat. I'll tell you that much.
Yeah, and I've seen some of the dancers that were selected and checked out their page. And I said, oh, boy.
Listen,
You're about to bring it.
Dancers, shout out to my dancers. I mean, look, we've been on a long road when it came to the selection. It was really hard. We even had to make recent changes because, like, different things happen. Life happens. It is what it is.
Right.
Some things that, just came up. And I really want to be, my team wanted to really be transparent with everyone that, you know, this is an independent artist production that we're doing specifically for Low. Hopefully in the future that will be different, but
Right.
I don't want any one of my team members to ever feel uncomfortable or feel like, you know, they can't represent themselves. And Low is literally what it's going to do. Low is going to bring that vibe. Low is going to make you feel good. Low is going to be high, and high
Right.
is going to be low. So we about to be lit.
Okay, that's what's up. And I've noticed because that brings up an important point because times I've seen you perform, it always seems like movement artistry is always what you bring. Because there are artists that perform, they don't really move a lot, but I see you're moving all over the place.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I'm
just
all over. I need to chill, actually.
like I need to chill. But what is it that brings that energy? Is it because of what you stated you want to bring some of that back, or is that's how you naturally are as a person?
Oh, well, I'm performing on stage. That's just how I am. I mean, I just be lit. I can't explain it. I think it's my family's fault. I don't know what they put in my juice when I was a baby. But it happened. I was 2 years old twerking the Prince. I don't know. I don't know what was going on. I don't know. But doing the moonwalk, I'm still trying to find that video because I was trying to show Michael
Wow.
Jackson. I didn't find the video, so there's that. But
She said twerking the Prince.
I was twerking for Prince. I
Ow.
was walking for Michael. I was doing it all. I promise you, I got the baby tapes. I just gotta find them. Yeah, I gotta find them. But yeah, I mean, like I said, this is who I am. I mean, I'm Jersey girl to 845. I mean, you call it what you want. You don't have to like
Right.
it or respect it. I just always come on stage with energy because that's just what I always had.
Hmm.
And I do love to dance. So whatever ends up happening on stage, I promise you, 90% of the time is not planned unless
Mm.
I pre-rehearse it because I did it before and it worked. So like me and my brother, we did the back bend for the first time. That was not planned. It worked. So I ended up doing
Mm.
it for like maybe 2 more performances afterwards because that just became a niche. But other than that, everything I do is kind of just like on. Well, I did one performance for a show that I did have dancers for a show in Brooklyn. I don't even remember what it's called. My brain is horrible.
No,
And
it's fine.
we did we did a song for an unreleased song called Hold Up, and we did like a cheer thing with that. That was probably the only other thing we coordinated. But everything else I do on stage, it's just be me being lit. So that's why I need Low, because what Low is going to do is it's going to kind of merge naturally what I've been doing and then maybe kind of polish it a little bit,
Okay.
because that is something I have not done yet. I haven't really truly polished my look when it comes to dancing with performing, even though
Mm.
I've done it for fun, but like to a song that I have not done that yet, I don't think. And I feel
Hmm.
like Low will naturally do it because it is that type of song where you dance, but I can also kind of groove to it. So I'm curious to see what would happen once I perform that on stage. And now that I have dancers, I could kind of
Make
visualize.
it happen.
Make it happen, exactly, because we here, and that's what we do at Urban Updates.
Right, right. So as far as the industry, because things you tapped on different things that I feel is so important in the music industry today. But just what do you feel is more important as far as standing out? Do you feel in the industry it's talent, consistency, or marketing?
All three.
All
um
three, right?
all three. I mean, it's a package. I'm telling you, if you don't got the package deal, forget it. Because my thing is
Mm,
like the talent is the no-brainers. Well, when you say talent, right, because I kind of got to be careful what I say here, because if we use the back in the day term, talent would be essential, but now you kind of
right,
have talent with
right.
the look and
Mm,
talent with the skill. And then you have those that have both, but may not have the right marketing team to build that up. And then you have those with a good marketing team that may not have substantial ability with their personality to withhold that, or if they have that, it's not respected.
right,
So
right.
that being said, I do feel like it's a package deal because you can't have one without the other if you
Hmm.
want to be successful in the game. But like if you're just trying to get your foot in and just be seen by a few people, then honestly, I feel like the main thing I think now today is marketing. I feel like the marketing is really kind of what makes or breaks your popularity when it comes down to your content. But if you're really trying to get longevity and
Hmm.
really get respect out of that longevity and not just go viral off one or two posts, then you need to have the full package deal. You need to have something that people can be like, oh, she or he has something. They have something. It's
Right.
not, oh, they look good or they have a look that I'm attracted to, but also
Hmm.
have something I can remember. They can sing, they can act, they can dance, they could blow a whistle, they could tie a cherry knot. I don't know. They do hair.
Right. Right.
They can build a house. I don't know. But I
Right.
feel like the more skills that you have, the better off you'll be. But you also have to just really know your brand. And then when you know your brand, the marketing honestly is the tricky part, because there really is no one answer with marketing. But
Right.
it's like it's the ingredient that puts the content out there that people see. And it doesn't always have to be PR and like that kind of, it's not always that does the marketing. It's something you could do your own marketing. You just have to really, it starts with first of all, good content. And I feel like the better the content, the better. You don't have to force the content. It could just be as
Right.
easy as you just doing a video, a challenge video, and then just putting it out there on a weekday that people will see it.
Right.
But maybe then after that you put on an ad to that video, put $2 for 2 days just to see what it does, and
Right.
you see those numbers go up, something's working. So then what you do is, for one more week, you put a couple more dollars to that, make another video either similar to that or something that has a similar theme, and keep the aesthetic going. And then you got to be consistent with it. That's where it gets
Oh,
hard.
hold on now, hold on. BBC dropping some knowledge.
Mm-hmm.
I think she's gonna have to stop, or
I
you're gonna
don't know.
have to.
I might need to follow my own advice, because that's
Yeah.
my problem. I'm not consistent. See, now if I was consistent with posting, I would I wouldn't need to explain myself. You just see me. But it's
Oh
like
man.
consistency. That's that right there is the problem.
Right.
You gotta be consistent, and then when you're consistent, you gotta stay true to who you are, so that people don't get lost in what you're putting out there. Because once you
Right.
put
Right.
out one thing, it's not that you have to do the same thing, but what makes you stand out with what you did, or if you're doing different things, then what's your personality like, so people can get to know you. That's really what it is that you got to put out there. Put yourself out there. Don't pretend to be somebody that you're not. But if you are pretending to be somebody, let it be like, if you got an alter ego, or if you're an actress kind of thing, and you want to be a character as an IG, but then still have yourself as something else, that's different. Then you got something. But if you're just
Right.
being somebody that you're not, and you're forcing content that doesn't really feel right with you,
Right.
don't do it.
Right. Because
Don't.
I'm sure there's a lot of people can argue as far as when we're talking about consistency, talent, the marketing. We can argue that there are people out there that doesn't have much talent, but
Yeah.
they are consistent and
Right.
they are marketing right, and
Right.
they're able to grow from that. And because they're able to grow, then they're able to have that available time to finally develop some talent, right? But it's amazing when you can have the full package. But
Yeah.
just to show you how consistency in marketing goes a long way. I'm sure people listening now, they can all agree. There's some people out there where even you as an artist, you can say, "Come on, I'm better than that." Like, or how did that song blow up? You know what I mean? So that plays a big role, which leads me into the next question as far as the industry. Is there anything or just what you are seeing out there? And I know we've kind of gotten some of it with what you want to bring back, but is there anything that just makes you just really irks you about the business? I don't know if you ever seen that animated movie Bold, with the villain. He's like,
Yeah.
"You irk me, Professor. I am irked." So, is there anything that just really bothers you about as far as what you're seeing out there, whether it's from an individual artist or just the industry in general?
Without cursing, the same BS. This, like, I'm not even gonna
Mm,
sugarcoat it, but I'm gonna try not to curse. It's like, so from my lens, and it's weird explaining this, because it's like you have to be outside to get it, right? So it's like
mm,
me, I'm saying this without saying this. I be outside, but not like that. But when I'm outside, it counts, if that makes sense, right?
mm,
What I see on social media, and I can relate that to what I see in real life, it's like eye opening, because like when you see it in real life, it's like, oh, I get it now. It's like, this is how the content blows up. You kind of gas it up in person, do that kind of thing, blah, 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 blah. No,
Right.
no, obviously. But what really irks me is what I feel like should irk a lot of people, but it seems like it keeps happening. The griminess behind the scenes. It's like, I don't have one person to call out, and I wouldn't really do that anyways, because I don't like, I really don't try to drop names, because I do feel like it's just a representation of what goes on behind the scenes in the industry, and I'm sure on a larger scale it happens even deeper than what I know.
Right.
And my dad can attest to this, because he was in a group on a major label before the griminess with his management, and that the management that was dealing with his group. Right. And when it comes to me, I'm a freelancer, so I kind of just do my own thing, whatever. It's like I've been so there's been times that like I would do content for like my songs, and do you know like the artist video drops? Let me try to explain this. Mic drops, there we go. Like the mic drops where you do the video to whatever song you do, you get the mic and you amp it up, whatever. And usually those videos go viral, because when you amp it up, it kind of almost looks like it's a music video, but it's a mic drop version of, unless you make it your music video, I don't know.
Right.
And long story short, there was a couple videos I did, and one was for the Up From Here Vogue remix, and then there was another. And then I did for the first one I did for Beginning to an End, where I was promised I would get content for the Beginning to an End for the interview, and then for the Up From Here Vogue remix, the video, and I paid to get those videos and never got those videos. Now, I could call this person out, but again, I'm not going to do that, because that's not the subject of the situation. But at the same time, I'm not going to duck around the situation, because I feel like that's kind of what I'm speaking to with what irks me, is that you have people that's taking advantage of who they think are naive. And
be careful, people. Artists out there, be careful.
Artists, even models, dancers, whoever is in the entertainment aspect, but I'm speaking from an artist's point of view. You got people out there that's hungry for success, and if they see anything within you, there's two things that can happen, right? They're going to want to work with you, so they're going to do whatever it takes to get you under their wing, and then from there, they'll sell you this little falsified promise that, hey, I can do this for you, this for you, this for you. It's a small price. Whatever that price is, that's between you and them. I don't know. But that's one avenue. But if they feel like they can't get that from you, which I would be that case, then they go the grimy route and try to take it from you. So it's like, even if you pay them something, even if you do everything right, you pay for the service, whatever the case may be, the game just sometimes got certain people that don't play fair, where you got to kind of take matters into your own hands, whether it's legally or behind the scenes kind of thing, and hope that if other people went through that situation, they would expose that person. And there is one person I know that did get exposed for this a year ago or whatever. But I've noticed it's a pattern that happens with a lot of other individuals with that similar complexity. So without saying this, the industry is going to have your evil people. That is the very thing that irks me, but it's something I just cannot get rid of, because like I said, we're in a world full of evil people. And you just kind of have to just really, what you got to do as an artist, and then also those that are representing their artists, you really got to gauge their intention. And you can't just go off based off what you see, but really like how they speak. Like, are they being straightforward with you? Are they keeping eye contact with you? Or do they seem like they're hiding behind the scenes, but like everybody's going to them kind of thing, like they're somebody, and they just don't seem like the type to really engage, but they engage? You got to watch for those type of things, because it's like, you may not see it in hindsight, but people... You just gotta be careful of who you do business with, how you move. Don't tell your right hand what your left hand is doing. Stop telling people in social media that you're gonna do something and then it's not being done. Don't tell anybody nothing till it's done. Honestly, once it's done, they'll find out when you put it out. That's how you should move, and a lot of people just needs to know that. There's
Ladies,
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, you are tuned in to the sermon of VVC as she
Yeah.
breaks it down. Amen.
Look, I'm telling you this because this is from my own experience, and I learned the hard way
Right.
what to do, what not to do, and I'm still learning. So
Right.
I'm just being real with y'all. I'm just saying.
So before we wrap it up, and you've already been giving the people so many messages out there, but for your particular supporters, people who've just been there for you no matter what, do you have any messages for them right now?
I
Just
love you
something you'd like to
guys.
share.
Muchas gracias for the support and everything that y'all have done to get me to this point. If I'm speaking directly to the supporters, listen, don't let anyone dim your light. Don't let it, you're gonna have your bad days, you're gonna have your cloudy days, your rain, your sun, all that stuff. Just keep going. Don't give up the fight, even if the fight is hard. And you got this. Don't be afraid to go for what you want. I've been saying that like 5 different times.
Right.
Don't be afraid. You know what I'm saying? Because this is a real no. I don't want to stir with your question, but we really don't have no idea how much time we have on this earth as
True.
far as we know. So when I tell you, you do everything you love to do it, do your passions, make sure that you don't waste not 1 ounce of your time off negative energy, whatever
Right.
serve you, cut that out of your life. You don't need that, right? And you even need to explain yourself. Stop explaining yourself to people that don't want to be around you, right?
True. True.
You got negative things going on. Sometimes you just gotta walk away. It may not be easy, but sometimes you gotta walk away and really just think about yourself, your mental, and what's important to you. Because like I said, you don't know if you have tomorrow. You don't know if you have 50 years from now. But what you do know is if you're level headed, you have a plan, and
Mm.
you want to follow through with that plan if you want good for yourself. And whatever that plan is, you go for that. And whatever it is that's gonna get you where you want to be, you go with that. And anything that will deter you from your focus with your plan is what you need to step aside.
Mm. If
And
I had
and
a tambourine right now.
so I tell my supporters, whoever's watching, even if you don't support, just anybody, just get yourself together. If you got yourself together, then don't stop giving yourself together, and just remember, you're human. At the end of the day, you're going to make your mistakes. People are going to dislike you, people are going to hate you, people are not going to care, people are going to find you annoying, people are going to find you useless. You just got to know your worth, you got to know yourself, and don't worry about the outsiders if it's not serving for you. But also be honest with yourself, take accountability, and just learn and grow and have fun.
All right. And before you go, where can people follow you, stream you? What do you want to tell them?
Yeah, so the good news is I'm Googleable. I'm not trying to sound like a diva, but I am Googleable. The reason I say that's because I've been hacked in the past. And yeah, shout out to my hacker, because thanks to the hacker, I feel like I'm highly blessed and favored now with legitimate supporters. So I thank you for that. But well, I'm serious, but yeah. But yeah, you can you can follow me on IG, the real VEVEC. That's my IG handle. Honestly, if you're going on all my other social medias, just Google VEVE space C, and it will kind of correlate my social medias in that. I'm really mainly active on IG. I'm trying to get into the TikTok algorithm. I'm getting a little slow. I'm getting there, but I'm a little slow right now.
Right.
TikTok, I haven't, not TikTok, what's the other one? Twitter. I haven't really used Twitter as much as I did since you know what happened. So
Yeah. The
I'm kind
fact
of
that you
slow.
call it Twitter, we know it's been.
Yeah, I'm gonna always call it Twitter. I'm not X. You can X that out. You know, X, what you oh my God, I'm cursing. What you talking about? X, X.
Right.
X that out. Like, that's why we're not using X, because we're gonna use that as is. You're an X. You're an X.
Right. Right.
Yeah, X. You better be glad I'm still calling it Twitter. The freak
Right.
calling it X. Who even thinks about that kind of thing? X.
Right.
Are you stupid? It's crazy.
All right. So thank you guys for tuning
Thank
in.
you,
I'm your host,
everyone.
New Louie. We just heard from the talented, the very beautiful VVC. I'm sure some people want to know. I'm gonna ask her one more question. I'm
Okay.
sure some people want to know, is VVC single?
You said the next single?
No, no. I said, is VVC single?
Absolutely the freak. Yes, I am. Now, I am single, but just understand this. I don't tolerate BS, so I am a little picky when it comes to personality, but yeah, I
Uh-uh.
am single. I am single. I am focused. I am
Real. There
focused,
you
but
go.
I do have some room to mango if it makes sense. So we'll see.
Okay, okay, okay. So you heard it here, folks. You still got a chance to be that number one. We don't know. Like she
I
said,
know.
she's focused
We'll
though.
see. We'll see.
She's focused. And she got a father, she got a brother, she got
I
some other
got
people.
family crumple.
You gotta you gotta go through some people before you get to her.
They all square up like, yo, what we doing? What's up? I see you loving myself. I see you.
All right, so as we say,
Okay.
you heard from the talented BBC. Stay in the know. Follow Urban Updates. That's Urban Updates with a Z, not an S at the end of updates. You could follow us
Oh
on
yeah.
IG, Facebook. Of course, connect with us if you need to send us any particular message. You could go to urbanupdatesnow@gmail.com. Thank you, BBC, for being a part of this. Are you feeling good?
I feel
Yeah, I'm feeling
good.
good.
Yeah, boy.
Hey, good boy.
I'll be choking. Oh
All right,
shoot.
folks. But it's a pleasure. It's a wrap. Until next time, we got nothing but love for you, BBC. Take care now.